Welcome, my favorite people, the rare gems. A quiet life doesn't mean an empty one. Some women build entire empires in silence. When you hear the word hobbies, you might think of pastimes meant to pass the time or social activities shared with others. But for a Sigma female, hobbies aren't just things to do when she's bored. They're sacred, they're intentional. They're the fuel that sharpens her mind, protects her peace, and reconnects her to her power. A Sigma female is not trying to fit into anyone's world. She's building her own. She doesn't need permission to pursue what she loves, and she definitely doesn't need a crowd to enjoy it. While others seek attention, she seeks growth. While the world clings to validation, she chooses freedom. The things she does behind closed doors say far more about her than any loud performance ever could. Some people might not understand why she prefers complexity over comfort, or why she disappears to recharge. But here's the truth. Being misunderstood is part of being extraordinary. If you're a Sigma female, you already know how exhausting it is to fake interest in things that don't feed your spirit. So stop doing it. The things that bring you joy don't need to make sense to anyone else. They just need to make you feel more like yourself. This isn't about hobbies, it's about alignment. It's about doing the things that remind you who you really are when the world tries to convince you otherwise. And that's exactly what makes you powerful. Let's get started. The rare gems. Number 1. Information hoarding. Let's be honest. If you walked into a Sigma female's space and peeked at her tabs, bookmarks, or bookshelf, you'd probably think you just stumbled into the brain of a secret agent, an undercover philosopher, or a borderline conspiracy theorist. And you wouldn't be wrong. Sigma females are quiet collectors of information, not gossip, not trends. Real mind-bending stuff. Obscure articles, old books with worn pages, interviews no one else watched, podcasts buried in the digital abyss. They grab them all like hidden treasure. But here's the twist. They don't do it to look smart. They do it because staying sharp is a personal requirement. For a Sigma female, knowledge is a weapon. It's her armor. It's what protects her from falling into the traps of small talk, groupthink, or emotional manipulation. She likes to walk into a conversation already 10 steps ahead, fully aware of how the room works, even if she says nothing at all. And while others may chase trends and hashtags, she's probably 3 rabbit holes deep into a topic you didn't even know existed. She doesn't share what she knows unless she trusts you. And even then, just a little. Not because she's stingy, but because she understands something most people don't. That when you know things most people ignore, it gives you leverage, control, clarity. Sometimes it's funny how random her knowledge is. One minute she's explaining how octopuses have 3 hearts, and the next she's breaking down ancient war strategies or modern surveillance systems. You'll sit there wondering, where did that come from? She'll just smile and shrug. Her curiosity isn't casual, it's constant. It's the reason she'll pause a movie just to Google a throwaway line or spend her weekend decoding a theory no one asked her to explore. She doesn't hoard information to be impressive. She does it to stay unshakable. And in a world full of noise, there's something deeply powerful about a woman who builds a mind no one can mess with. Number 2. Mastering skills that threaten others. Sigma females don't just pick up hobbies for fun. Oh no. They choose skills that shake the room a little. The kind of skills that make people look twice. Not because they want attention, but because they love knowing that if everything fell apart tomorrow, they'd still be good. Actually, better than good. They'd be 5 steps ahead while everyone else is still Googling how to survive without Wi-Fi. We're talking martial arts, programming, strategic thinking, lockpicking even. Yes, lockpicking. Not because they plan on breaking into places, but because they like knowing how things work. Especially systems that keep most people locked out. There's a quiet power in knowing you can get out of a tough situation without yelling for help. What's wild is they're not loud about it. Sigma females will casually mention they know how to hotwire a car or build a website from scratch like it's nothing, and you'll sit there blinking, wondering what else they've mastered without you noticing. It's not about trying to intimidate anyone. The intimidation just happens. People around them start to feel a little nervous, not in a bad way, but in a why do I feel like she knows something I don't kind of way. And that's the secret. Sigma females love having skills that create quiet tension. They never throw them in your face, but the moment something goes wrong, guess who everyone turns to? They take pride in being self-sufficient to the point that it makes others uncomfortable. Not out of spite, but because they've learned the hard way. Depending on the wrong people leads to disaster. So now, they'd rather be the one with the map, the flashlight, and the backup plan. Sigma females don't chase skills for show. They chase them for survival, for sovereignty, for the calm confidence that comes from knowing even if everything falls apart, I've got this. And they really do. Number 3. Deep diving into uncomfortable truths. Sigma females have a weird obsession that most people run from. They dive headfirst into the dark, messy, uncomfortable truths of life. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because they believe sugarcoating reality is a setup for disappointment. While others scroll past the heavy stuff, she leans in. She wants to understand the why beneath the chaos. She's the type who reads about mortality while drinking her morning coffee. She'll casually bring up the fragility of existence during dinner, and not to kill the vibe, but to remind people that life is short and pretending it's not won't make it any longer. Existential dread? She's already been there. Systemic corruption? She's read 5 books and watched 3 documentaries on it. Emotional darkness? She doesn't avoid it. She studies it. She picks it apart until it makes sense. Not because she's trying to be edgy or overly serious, but because she would rather know the truth and learn how to deal with it than live inside a fantasy that crumbles the moment reality knocks. While most people are searching for feel-good quotes and quick fixes, the Sigma female is in the trenches with philosophy, history, psychology, and everything else that makes most people's brains hurt. She's not trying to be miserable. She's trying to be prepared. She wants to know what she's really dealing with in this life. And yes, it makes people uncomfortable. People joke that she's too intense or overthinks everything. Meanwhile, she's 3 layers deep into understanding the root of human behavior, while everyone else is still stuck on the surface. But here's the kicker. Because she's willing to face the raw truth, she rarely gets blindsided. She sees what others ignore. She plans for what others pretend won't happen. It is not doom and gloom. It is quiet strength. And in a world full of denial, a woman who faces truth without flinching is more than rare. She's untouchable. Number 4. Planning exits they don't need yet. Sigma females have a habit that confuses most people. They are always planning exits, quietly, calmly, strategically. You might think everything is going fine, job's stable, relationships are good, life looks steady, but somewhere in her mind she has already mapped the way out. Not because she is paranoid, not because she is looking for drama, but because nothing makes her feel more powerful than knowing she can leave at any time for any reason without falling apart. While others are busy getting too comfortable, she is mentally packing bags no one sees. She knows the nearest metaphorical exit door in every situation. At work, she is the one who performs well, but also knows how to walk away without burning out or begging. In relationships, she can care deeply and still keep a quiet space reserved for detachment if things turn sour. And yes, she even does this with cities. While everyone is out signing leases and setting routes, she is reading up on how to start over in Portugal or looking at cabins in the woods, just in case. She could have 5 good years left in one place and still be researching Plan B at midnight, sipping tea like it's a casual hobby. It is not about running, it is about readiness. Sigma females find peace in knowing they are never trapped. She may love you, love the job, or love the life she's built, but she is not afraid to let it all go if it ever starts costing her more than it gives. Her exits are not fueled by fear, they are fueled by clarity. She wants to stay because she chooses to, not because she has to. And honestly, there is something very amusing about watching people try to control a woman who already knows how to disappear, rebuild, and thrive, long before you even realize she has left the room. Number 5. Brutal truth journaling. Sigma females do not journal to be poetic. They are not sitting under fairy lights writing Dear Diary in pink gel pens while sipping herbal tea. No, their journals are more like confession booths, therapy sessions, and battlegrounds combined. When a Sigma female picks up her pen, she is not there to make things sound pretty. She is there to be real, brutally real. She writes like she is trying to bleed the lies out of her own mind. No sugarcoating, no filters. Just Page after page of unspoken thoughts, uncomfortable truths, and the kind of honesty that would make most people squirm. She writes what she cannot say. The rage she hides behind calm eyes. The doubts no one knows she carries. The dark questions that wake her up at 3 a.m. It is all there in her journal, raw and undiluted. And oddly enough, that's how she finds her clarity. By spilling everything out, exactly as it is, without worrying about how it sounds or who would understand. There is nothing polished about it. Some pages look like crime scenes. Others are full of hard questions she forces herself to answer. She writes when she is hurting. She writes when she is proud. She writes when she is lost and trying to claw her way back. And the funny part, if someone were to read her journal, they would probably need a blanket and a deep breath. But to her, it is peace. Because in that notebook, she does not have to pretend. She does not have to be strong, composed, or mysterious. She can be all of it, angry, messy, scared, ruthless, and still walk away lighter. Her journal is not a diary. It is her weapon, her compass, her mirror. It shows her where she is lying to herself, where she is growing, and where she needs to burn it all down and start fresh. For the Sigma female, journaling is not a hobby. It is survival. Number 6. Complicated hobbies no one understands. Sigma females do not go for the usual hobbies. Baking cupcakes? Cute. Group yoga? Maybe once. But the things that really light them up are the weird, mind-twisting hobbies that leave everyone else saying, "Wait, you do what for fun?" If it's obscure, mentally demanding, and borderline intimidating, she's interested. Think cryptography, not crochet. She's the kind of person who learns Morse code for no reason other than why not, or dives into some dead language no one has spoken in 800 years just to see what ancient minds were thinking. There is no end goal, no certificate, no show-off moment. It's about feeding that relentless curiosity. She might spend weeks learning advanced chess variations most people don't even know exist. Not to become a champion, just to sharpen her mental reflexes and enjoy the quiet thrill of complexity. She's probably watched a full documentary on neuroplasticity, taken notes, then gone on a 3-hour rabbit hole about how the brain rewires itself after trauma, for fun. Friends will look at her sideways asking, "Why don't you just relax?" But for her, this is relaxing. Digging into hard topics, stretching her mind, getting lost in strange corners of knowledge, this is how she breathes. Simplicity bores her, predictability numbs her, and the best part, she rarely talks about it. These hobbies aren't for clout or conversation starters. She doesn't need applause. She needs challenge. And if you ever catch her smiling at her screen like she just solved a puzzle no one else saw coming, leave her be. She's probably halfway through decoding something complex that has absolutely no real-world purpose, and loving every second of it. Sigma females don't follow hobbies to pass the time. They chase them to sharpen their minds and satisfy that endless hunger for the things most people overlook. If it's complicated and misunderstood, she's already 10 steps into it. Number 7. Mental time travel. Sigma females have a habit that would exhaust most people. They mentally time travel, not with gadgets or goggles, but with focus so sharp it could slice through steel. Their minds are like private theaters where past scenes, future plans, and alternate realities are always playing, on loop in high definition. They will replay a 5-minute conversation from 3 years ago, zoom in on a glance, rewind a sentence, and dissect the tone like a forensic expert. Not because they're obsessed or can't let go, but because there's data in everything. That awkward pause, that smile that felt off, it all matters. Sigma females are not trying to torture themselves with regret. They are hunting for clues, lessons, patterns. Their past is a library, not a prison. Fast forward to the future, and you'll find them running mental simulations like it's chess. What if I take this job? What if I leave this relationship? What if I stay silent here but speak up there? They're not afraid of consequences. They study them. Long before most people even ask, "What now?" She's already deep into the next 5 moves. And then there are the alternate lives. Not fantasy, not escape, just thoughtful exploration. What if I had moved to that city? What if I had said yes instead of no? These aren't regrets, they're rehearsals, training sessions for character, mindset, and strength. Sigma females don't time travel to avoid life. They do it to prepare for it with their eyes open and their spirit ready. The beauty of it? No one sees this happening. She might be sipping coffee, staring out a window, looking calm as ever. But inside, she's running time through her mind like a strategist flipping through blueprints. She's building a stronger version of herself, one rewind and fast forward at a time. For the Sigma female, time isn't linear. It's a resource, a landscape, a field of study. She doesn't just live in the present, she learns from the past, strategizes for the future, and keeps all timelines in check, quietly, brilliantly, unapologetically. Number 8. Creative work that stays hidden. Sigma females are the type to pour their soul into something beautiful, and then lock it away in a drawer like it's a state secret. That novel she's been writing for years, tucked behind tax documents. The haunting piano melody she composed at 2 a.m., stored on a private file labeled something misleading like receipts_2020. The world will probably never see it, and she prefers it that way. Unlike most people who create for validation, applause, or digital hearts, Sigma females create for themselves. Their art is not a brand. It's not content. It's therapy, rebellion, reflection, and sometimes a straight-up emotional exorcism. It's their way of reclaiming control over their inner world without letting anyone else touch it. They know that once something gets exposed to public opinion, it starts changing. It gets shaped by what others like, expect, or criticize. And that's exactly what they're not interested in. For them, creativity is sacred. It's a ritual, not a performance. They don't need to hear, "Wow, that's amazing." They already know it is, or they know it's messy. And they're fine with that too. It's not about how it looks. It's about what it did. How it pulled something from deep inside and gave it shape, gave it breath, gave it a private home. There's a kind of quiet confidence in that. To create something powerful and never post it. To sing and not record, to paint and never hang it up. It's the art of keeping something completely yours, untouched, unedited, free. And yes, it confuses people. Why don't you share it, they ask. And the answer is simple, because they don't need to. A Sigma female's creative work isn't hiding out of fear. It's hiding because it was never meant to be currency. It was meant to be hers. And in a world where everyone's shouting for attention, that kind of silence is not just rare, it's powerful. Number 9. Using boredom as a weapon. Sigma females have this strange little habit that most people can't relate to. They choose boredom, on purpose. Not because there's nothing to do, but because sitting in silence with absolutely no stimulation has become one of their quiet superpowers. While the rest of the world scrambles for the next distraction, scrolling, swiping, binge-watching things they don't even like, Sigma females are doing the opposite. They are sitting in stillness, eyes wide open, letting the silence stretch. It's not laziness, it's not moodiness, it's training. They use boredom like a mental gym, a place to stretch their patience, build inner discipline, and break the addiction to constant noise. Because let's be honest, most people can't sit still for 5 minutes without grabbing their phone like it's an oxygen tank. But Sigma females? They want to feel the discomfort. They want to lean into that space where nothing's happening and everything inside you starts to squirm. That's where they get stronger. See, most people use entertainment to escape themselves. Sigma females use boredom to meet themselves. They let the silence speak. They watch their thoughts without running from them. They challenge their own minds to survive without stimulation, and weirdly enough, they come out sharper every time. Sometimes they'll just lie on the couch, staring at the ceiling like it's some sort of ancient painting. Not because they're depressed, not because they're stuck, but because they're refining their ability to not need. That's real freedom. You won't find them reaching for comfort just to fill time. Boredom is where they reset, recharge, and remind themselves that they are enough, even when the world goes quiet. So the next time you see a Sigma female doing nothing, don't assume she's wasting time. She might just be sharpening a skill you never even knew existed, one that doesn't flash, beep, or dance for your attention, just pure, undiluted self-mastery. Number 10. Curating a life of zero noise. Sigma females are not just selective. They are ruthless when it comes to what gets a place in their life. While others collect friends, followers, and obligations like it is some kind of life points game, she is quietly removing the clutter, trimming the excess, and cutting out anything that feels like noise. And no, we are not talking about minimalist furniture or all-white kitchens. We are talking about lifestyle minimalism, emotional minimalism. The kind where she chooses fewer people, fewer distractions, and fewer pointless conversations. Her peace is not up for negotiation. If it does not add value, it is gone. She edits her life like a film director who is not afraid to delete an entire scene just because it felt off. You could be mid-sentence in her life and suddenly find yourself cut from the script. No drama, no exit interview, just gone. It is not personal. It is about peace. What throws people off is how serious she is about it. She is not trying to be mysterious or hard to reach. She just genuinely enjoys silence more than shallow interaction. And if you bring chaos to her doorstep, she will quietly make sure it never happens again. Her phone has no notifications. Her social circle is smaller than a pizza slice. Her schedule has gaps on purpose. Not because she is lazy, but because she values space to think, breathe, and just exist without the world constantly poking at her. People often assume she is lonely. They could not be more wrong. She is just full of her own thoughts, full of clarity, full of intention. She does not crave stimulation every 5 minutes. In fact, she finds it exhausting. The Sigma female's life is clean, quiet, and protected like a secret garden. She has carefully chosen every element in it, and if you get an invite into that space, consider it an honor, because she only lets in what brings peace, and peace for her is the real luxury. Number 11. Rebuilding themselves in private Sigma, females are the masters of quiet comebacks. You will never catch them falling apart in front of an audience. They could be going through absolute chaos, burned out, heartbroken, overwhelmed, but you would never know. Why? Because one of their favorite hobbies is disappearing just long enough to rebuild themselves in silence. They are not the type to post cryptic quotes or dramatic life updates. If they're hurting, you will not see it. They vanish like a ghost, not to hide in weakness, but to do what they do best. Fix everything on their own terms, without noise, without pity, and definitely without people offering unsolicited advice. Sigma females treat personal breakdowns like a private renovation project. No one gets to walk through the construction zone. She'll tear herself down to the studs if she has to, break her own habits, rebuild her mindset, unlearn what no longer fits. But all of it happens behind closed doors, and when she steps back out, people are shocked. She looks stronger, calmer, sharper. They think it happened overnight. Nope. That glow-up came from nights of deep thinking, journaling like a madwoman, rejecting distractions, and doing the uncomfortable work most people avoid. She does it with no audience clapping for her, no Instagram story updates, no look-at-me healing posts. Just grit, silence, and intention. What's funny is how people assume she never struggles, simply because they never see it. But the truth is, she just refuses to let pain turn into performance. She does not want attention when she is down. She wants time, she wants space, she wants control over her healing. So when she comes back, she is not just better, she is rebuilt. Stronger in the places that once cracked, and the best part, she owes her strength to no one. Not a soul saw it happen. They only see the result, and that's exactly how she likes it. In final words, the world rarely understands the quiet ones, but that's because the quiet ones are busy building things no one can see. Sigma females are not here to follow the script. They are not chasing trends, approval, or the spotlight. While the world shouts louder and scrolls faster, they move in silence, collecting skills, shaping inner power, and mastering the kind of hobbies that feed the soul instead of the ego. The hobbies they love, whether it's brutal honesty in journaling, decoding life through obscure patterns, or voluntarily sitting in silence, aren't always glamorous. They don't fit neatly into small talk. And that's the point. These women don't create for likes. They don't escape into hobbies. They use them. Every quiet activity is a tool. Every strange interest is a weapon sharpened through patience, independence, and intention. Being a Sigma female means your world is built inward first. You are the one who makes solitude feel like strength. You are the one who turns discomfort into growth and silence into wisdom. While others depend on the noise to feel something, you strip the noise away just to see what's real. So if you ever feel like you don't quite fit in, like your hobbies confuse people or your energy feels too different to explain, good. That's your edge. That's your signal that you were never meant to blend in with the rest. Keep doing the unusual things that make you feel whole. Keep choosing peace over popularity. Keep building yourself in ways the world may never understand. You do not need to be seen to be significant. You do not need noise to be powerful. Stay sharp. Stay silent. Stay you. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.